Hey, what's going on, everybody? Today we are looking at the Masterverse, Masters of the Universe, New Eternia Manny Faces. The New Eternia line is it's kind of getting me. I'm kind of getting drawn in by the designs. I'm getting drawn in by the characters that they're doing. Those sort of original sort of designs, but with cool updates and kind of different takes, different looks. So let's take a look at the packaging. You get the nice big window box on the front there with the New Eternia sort of subline logo down at the bottom there. Legalese on the very bottom, Masterverse on the top. On the side, this is Manny Faces, human, robot, monster. And then on the other side, of course, as with all Masterverse figures, we're getting the art. So you get this this shot with a few different Manny faces. Interestingly, though, the one that comes, in the box is not the one that they have on the side. The ones on the side are actually the ones, in the display there. On the back is where you get the three faces that are currently on the figure. And I haven't really watched any reviews for this guy or anything like that, so I'm not entirely sure why there's so many faces or sort of how that's going to work, but we will see. And then you get, of course, the bio there, human, robot, monster, and then call out to the other figures in this particular wave. But the packaging is not the most interesting part, so let's get this guy out of the box. All right, so here we have Manny Faces out of the box. I'm really digging this figure. The colors are great. The sculpting is good. I've now gotten to the point where I'm sort of okay with some of the weird little things. His arms still don't go straight. That's just a Masterverse thing that they've got going on. The plastic is what it is. This is what Masterverse is. So it's kind of like, it's not news anymore, I guess. I'm over those little nitpicky things because the figures are cool. And like I said, I'm really digging the colors on this guy. There's a metallic. A lot of this is just down to the plastic that they've used. This is just a blue sort of pearl metallic plastic that they've molded these pieces in, with some purple on there and the orange, and then the very, very vibrant sort of fuchsia pink for the tubes and some of the highlights. It looks good. I feel like this shoulder piece probably should have been painted. That's sort of a weird oversight to me, that it seems as though that connecting piece maybe shouldn't be orange. That's an easy one to fix. I mean, I'll probably just try to color match, the shoulder or the blue metallic or something, and maybe paint over that, if I ever get around to it, because it is kind of just awkward and a little bit jarring. That's maybe my only complaint, design wise, deco wise. You do, of course, get the feature of the spinning head. So you get, I should probably go this way. Sorry, I get human, robot, monster, right? So you get human, you get robot, and you get monster. But that's not all you get. I should note, that's not all you get. That's what you get sort of right on the figure. But when we get to the accessories, we'll dig a little bit deeper into that. First impressions, as I said, just a really great figure. The design is good. The colors are fantastic. Really, really fun, vibrant colors. I'm digging it. Let's take a look at those accessories. All right, so as far as accessories go, we're going to start off with the extra set of hands. These are just fist hands. The figure itself just comes with the standard sort of C-grip accessory holding hands. But getting some fists is nice. If he gets in a fight, he might not have his pistol. This is super sort of vintage inspired. This just looks and feels like the 1980s. It's big, it's chunky, it's clumsy. it doesn't make much sense design-wise. But an interesting feature is that in the end there's sort of like a socket style of shape with a couple of flanged bits in there, and it actually matches the top of his head. So, if you don't want to use your fingers and turn this thing, which admittedly is like not the easiest thing to do. I have relatively small hands, but if I was somebody with some big, gorilla hands, I might not want to do it that way. So you just got to sort of lock this thing in, and then you just turn the whole gun. And that's actually way easier than using just the little dial on the top. So that's sort of a cool feature, cool function of the gun there. And then of course we get this sort of briefcase valise, if you will, his traveling case, which has a really cool eye on it, some cool details. The sculpt work on the case is very impressive, but what's inside the case is what counts. So we get 3 more faces for Manny faces. This is many more faces than we're kind of used to. So you get that skull, you get the Keldor face, and then this face. And again, pretty sure that's Keldor. Feel free to correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. Is that another character as well? I genuinely don't know. And these of course pop off. Take my word for it, they pop off. And underneath it is this cool little skull. So it's even, even in the design of the case, sort of what's behind there, there's still something kind of cool. And these are interchangeable on the head. So easy enough. You just pop this off. Easy enough, right? And then find the one that you want to replace. I'm going to replace the robot face. And again, they just have 2 pegs in the back. That same kind of skull looking thing on there. The skull will just pop on to the skull. That was not rehearsed. That was just purely coincidental. Pop the shield back on. And there you go. You've got many more faces that you can interchange. So I guess now he's like man, fleshless man, monster. Anyway, I like that face. I'm probably gonna display it with that face most of the time anyway. So there you go. And then your spare faces pop in the case. Close the case. This hinge is really tight, but it does lock shut. There you go. 2 pegs on the back of the case as well. 2 holes on the back of the figure, so he can actually have that pop on there. Now, there's also a peg on the blaster. So if you want to store that on his back, you can, and then have him, carry the case. So you got options. I mean, you got options, but he can basically carry all of his gear if you want him to, which is definitely a bonus as somebody that is, a big fan of the G.I. Joe classified line. I always love when a figure is able to carry all their gear. So we more or less get that with this guy. But there you go. There's the loadout, the spare hands, the pistol, and the extra faces in the case. I'm pretty impressed. Let me get this guy all geared up and a little bit posed up, and I will give my final impressions. All right, so here I have Manny faces. Either enacting or sort of going through his lines on a Shakespearean play, or sort of reflecting on the futility of life and sort of having an existential moment. But anyway, it's a great figure. It's a really, really fun figure. I've got no complaints. I mean, apart from, as I said, the weird little ones that I've been having with Masterverse. But as far as Man-E-Faces goes, I like this figure a lot, and I think the play value wise, you know, the ability to change faces, and then getting the extra faces on top of that is awesome. This is a great figure. This is going to be a lot of fun to play with. I think there's a lot of you know, storylines that Man-E-Faces can have. I think this is one that my 8-year-old is really, really gonna like. The gun, as absurd as it is, I think fits really well. It's fun, and the fact that they added that functionality in terms of getting the faces to rotate with that thing is just a really, really cool addition, and a really nice touch. This is definitely a figure that I would recommend if you're into the design of this figure, if you're into, you know, the line. Again, I'm recommending figures that you guys probably already have. These are not new figures, but yeah, I grabbed this guy from eCollectibles as well, and I think I'm probably going to end up going back for a couple more, especially of the new Eternia figures. If you guys are into this line, let me know which new Eternia figure I should pick up next. I'm always curious what other people, you know, are into, what and which ones I should skip. Maybe is there a new Eternia figure that I shouldn't bother with? Is there one that sort of really would let me down? Let me know. This one's great, and I think I want more. I think you know, I'm collecting new Eternia figures. Dang it. If you enjoyed this video, please hit thumbs up. If you haven't already, please subscribe. And if you want to see future videos, hit that bell icon to get notifications. Until next time, bye-bye.